Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. I love comp plans, dude. I love to go over comp
There's
plans.
not much you don't love.
Well, there are some things I don't love. Okay. I don't love finances, although I'll go over them. But Brian will tell you, I like numbers now. And he's like, we're still working on April's books. It's May 2nd. I'm like, well, you're fucking 2 days late. We should have it at April 30th at the end of 5 o'clock. I want to know how we did. So there are things I don't like. But I do love most of the stuff just because I love the hunt, the game, the whole thing. I love it. I love to see the stuff. Now, when it was my companies and I had to change sales plans, I was like, fuck, we got to change sales plans again. And I would get excited because I want to be creative I have a 70-30 rule. And a lot of times, especially for leadership, pay them 70% of their salary, make 30% based on company's profit or what they've brought to the table, driving business to where you want their 100% comp plan to be. Therefore, they have a vested interest to not just come in and clock in. There's going to be results driven. I'm a big believer in that in all positions in the company. Like that's a big deal to me. No, I get it. And I'm a big fan. We did that all the way from people booking appointments to managers, to leaders, to installers, to project managers, to service leaders. Like we did that in a lot of our positions. Some positions it's hard to do if you just have somebody counting beans and doing accounting. It's hard to say, but they can be profitable on the business being profitable, right? But you don't want them to screw the books over. So that's a funny line there. There's different options, though, you got to think about. Customer service, we used to bonus our old customer service teams on their quality of calls, their call time. You'd win an award, things like that. But you just want to keep the competition up, and you don't want them just clocking in and clocking out. The other thing you always talk about is profit sharing, which we mentioned a little bit, which I think is important too. Where you offer, certain employees, leadership employees, a way to be, if the company's profitable, they're profitable. They get a spiff. We do that now in the new venture. And it doesn't kill the company, but it allows them to feel like an owner without owner rights and get paid on profit of the business. And it's a good deal. Wouldn't you agree, Brian? Like it works out for these folks. It'll be costly when we're huge, but it's worth it. That's the deal you make. And you want them to be there for that. Right? You want them to be able to post them on the wall and say, look, they started when we opened and look what they're doing now because they were part of that. Don't you want to be part of this? You always want to have that story to tell, right? And so you need folks like that for that success story. Same thing with you, Danielle, like whoever's running your things, you need to tell the story. They came in, they're doing this. Now they're a leader here when you're hiring. Don't you want to follow that path? We might open another location, right? You want to build that hope and that desire for them. But people come in, they take jobs for 3 reasons. They take jobs for the opportunity. They see the growth opportunity in the business. They see other people being successful. They see the growth ladder. 2, money. 3, culture. If you work on those 3 things, you'll get the best people. But they've got to see the ladder. They got to see people moving up the ladder, because some people aren't as motivated of money. They want to be I want to be a manager. I want to be a general manager. I want to be a director. Some people are driven by title. Some people are driven by that ladder of success. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like that. I mean, I like money too, but I like to move up. That's how I was. I wanted to be number 1. And then some people are only driven on money, or money's part of that equation. And then the culture. Like, you got to make that culture fun. The downfall and the greatest thing of the businesses I've ever ran is it was cult-like. And I didn't do that on purpose. But because we gave profit sharing, and because we gave hope, and because we had the success story of growing within, moving people within the company up to be managers and directors and regionals, it was almost like a cult. Like, they were all in. And the problem with that's a great thing, because then they're giving you 110% most of the time. The problem with it is if they're not on the team anymore, it was a good ending. They hate you. You're like the ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, and they can't stand you now because they're not part of it anymore. That's what happens. That's a good and it's a bad. To me, people ask me all the time, well, would you change it? No, I wouldn't. I do the same thing, because I'd rather have people go into bat for me like we're in a battle, like we're in a war, all in, no matter what. And then we deal with the ones that leave and they don't like us. They hate us because they're not part of it. Fine. Rather than I just get half-ass people that only put in half-ass effort and I get half-ass results. I'm not a fan of that. So I like them to drink the full Kool-Aid and be all in. And I don't purposely make it cult-like, but because we're all rowing the same way and we're excited and we're all on motivation and we all have the same dream and everybody's got skin in the game, it becomes that way.